Hey everybody, welcome back to Guys Night Laboratory. This is Jesus Velasquez and
Jordan Zacharias.
welcome back to 12 Days of Halloween. And today we are gonna not review movies or do anything like that. We're gonna be talking about our favorite memories of Halloween.
Yep.
And so we're just gonna start really simple, kind of just dialogue here, and talk about our favorite memories as a child, teenager, and adult.
All right.
So I'll go first because my child Halloween experience was really weird. I went trick or treating maybe a couple times as a child. And
Really?
then, yeah, I only
Only
went.
a couple?
I went trick or treating maybe like 3 or 4 times, if even. And then from like the age of like 9 the age of 9 until whenever I went to like a really like Pentecostal church, so they did not let me.
That's right. Okay.
They didn't let me go trick or treating because
Yeah.
Halloween's of the
That's
devil.
right. Oh,
So if
dude,
you
got
haven't
robbed
known that,
all those years.
so I missed all the Halloween times, which is probably why I love Halloween now because I didn't get to experience it as a kid.
Yeah.
But one thing that my parents did do for us for Halloween time, so my memory of Halloween as a child is that my parents would take us because they didn't want us to feel left out. So we didn't get to go trick or treating or dress up or anything like that, but they'd always take us every year to Godfather's Pizza in Escondido, and we would go to Godfather's Pizza, get pizza, and I'd get to play video games, and then you know where Godfather's Pizza is?
Yeah.
So we go to Godfather's Pizza, then we play video games, get pizza, and then after we got to go to Stater Brothers, or I think it was Vaughn's at the time, maybe it was Stater Brothers, I don't know. And we get to go to the candy aisle and pick out like a ton of candy and then go home. So that was cool, but it wasn't like Halloween.
It's not the same as like dressing up.
Yeah, but so that was
going out with
my childhood Halloween like experience.
That's kind of a bummer, dude.
Yeah, it kind of sucked, but
Mine was pretty average, I think. I always loved Halloween. It was always one of my favorite holidays. I was super afraid of everything as a kid. I was very
as a kid
sheltered. as far as just like it like being a little more sheltered and stuff from anything too scary or whatever, but I always loved when I started to hear something scary or I'd see part of a scary movie. I'd sneak out when my parents were watching some science fiction movie like Aliens or something, and I'd see a part and I'd be like, oh, I'd be terrified. But then I was like, as I got older, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, so I don't want to go back and I'd want to see these monsters and creatures and stuff. So yeah, I'd say mine was pretty average, just trick-or-treating every year. I always loved going out with my friends and trick-or-treating. That was always one of my favorite parts. But it's funny because now as an adult, I don't really like dressing up that much anymore. Mm-hmm. But back then I loved being able to dress up once a year in a night where you get to have a night where you go, I could be anything in the world I want to be. So that, to me, the dressing up was just as good as the candy growing up. Yeah. Like, it was like trying to figure out like, okay, who do I want to be? Like, so I still remember being Dracula. I was the T-1000 when T2 came out. I was the T-1000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any pictures of that?
I do.
Okay, you gotta give me a picture so we can post it here.
But yeah, so like just some of those memories like that. But yeah, pretty standard. But what about you for like when you were a teenager then?
So when I was a teenager, we're still kind of like in the crazy church and everything. Not that church is crazy, but just this specific church was kind of cultish, and it was kind of weird because it was like that transition where we left that church when I was like 15.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't like, I didn't have a lot of friends that were like cool enough, or we couldn't drive to go like trick-or-treating. And like I was kind of at the age where I couldn't dress up anymore and go trick-or-treating. I mean, I look pretty young. I probably could have still done it, but so I didn't know. So it was kind of like, okay, we don't do anything. So like Halloween, we didn't like, I think we still did Godfathers, but I'm trying to think, like I didn't really do anything like teenage years of Halloween, like Halloween time. It was just kind of like, oh, it's Halloween. So I probably just watch scary movies on Halloween and kind of like buffered up on my like Halloween scary movie knowledge. Well, and here's the funny part that I was thinking, because when you're like, oh, like things would scare me as a kid really easily. Like I wasn't allowed to celebrate Halloween, but I was very well rounded on my knowledge of horror movies as a kid. So it looks like I snuck that through.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
I snuck that past the church.
Because you saw some gnarly stuff as a kid.
I watched like Predator and like
and you saw like the full versions. You're not talking like edited for TV.
Yeah, so like Creepshow and like
you're seeing rated R movies.
Yeah, Chopping Mall, like rated R movies, like at the age of like 9 or 10. So it's like I think
that's
it was
pretty intense.
Well, yeah. So they weren't monitoring that. It was just like, oh, Halloween, they're gonna kidnap you and sacrifice you. Maybe, I don't know, but it didn't happen. So yeah, teenage years, it was just kind of like by the time we could drive, like maybe we went to like a Halloween party, but we weren't like cool enough to go to like the cool Halloween party. So it was just kind of, nothing much happened when I was a teenager. Like I said, probably just watch horror movies and like watch like the marathons of scary movies at home.
Yeah, I'd say more or less that's about it for me. It was a lot of the movies and stuff like that, getting into ones where I'd started to be able to, have the courage to watch, gnarlier
Yeah.
stuff as far as like the intensity of the horror movies go. But that's when I first started. That was formative for me to start learning about. Not only was it still the old Universal monster movies I grew up on that I loved, but then I started branching out and finding things like, hearing movies about like John Carpenter movies and different types of movies where then I started watching The Thing and Christine and a bunch of these John Carpenter movies going, dude, these are amazing movies. Especially The Thing. When I saw that, I was like, oh, horror movies are amazing. The Shining, I started watching some of those movies.
The Thing, I saw that when I was a kid too.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy movie.
Dude, I still have a memory once of, I think it was when Last of the Mohicans came out. It was like, I was with my mom out somewhere at a store. And I think that was a while ago now. Yeah, The Last Mohicans. So you're probably talking like, I don't know, maybe 94 when that movie came out, 93, 94, 95, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm probably like literally like 12 or 13 years old. And for some reason my parents like took me to see it because they wanted to see it and they're like, oh, it's probably just violent or whatever. And like they didn't really mind violence as much. But it was so funny though because I was like at a store later and I was like, yeah, we just saw Last of the Mohicans. My parents were like, shh, we don't tell people what we saw. I'm like, why? And I didn't get it till later and I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway.
Remember that guy burning alive?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
But anyway, so yeah, for me it was about the same thing as a teenager. I totally did the whole trick or treating, especially with Dave, with my buddy Dave. Okay,
nice.
We trick or treated we totally did the thing where we like would hunch down, like wear like a cloak and like hunch down, because we were probably like 15, 16, and do the whole like trick or treat, like thing, and just being idiots until the last year. People were just like, no, get off my, they were going to say no, and yeah, that's about it. But yeah, so what about adulting?
So as an adult, okay, so you've known me since I was like 21,
right?
And so I was an adult. It's like now I can do whatever I want. So I mean, I'm reliving my glory days in Halloween. So I mean, I threw like the biggest, best Halloween party for like 9 years. At the Jungle, and that was like a Halloween staple until like people got married and had kids.
That was a classic spot, dude.
And I couldn't compete with the harvest party where they took all the kids. I'm like, I remember the last days of my Halloween party when it was the remnant of it was dying, and we had like maybe like 10, 15 people show up, and I was like, where is everybody? And they're like, oh, they're at the harvest party. I'm like, the harvest party? You mean the kids thing? They're like, yeah, people have kids now. I'm like, oh man. And I remember the last year we did it, like Laura was pregnant. I'm like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna do this anymore. But I just remember the first couple years, like it was like 50 people. It was packed. It was like everyone's dancing and having so much fun. And I just loved it because I love dressing up. I didn't get to dress up as a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm very animated. I'm an actor. I'm excitable. But I just wanted to dress up. And I mean, even till this day, I dress up. So the thing about Halloween now is, as a father, I take my kids trick-or-treating, and it's awesome. And we dress up as a family. I decorate the house. And we just have good fun. Yeah, is there weird things that might happen on Halloween? Probably. I mean, you never know. There's weird things that happen every day. But it is an eerie, weird, creepy night. So the possibility of something weird happening, yeah, probably. But we don't celebrate that. We celebrate the fun part of it, the trick-or-treating, the candy, the excitement, the dressing up, the fantasy of it.
Oh, I've never understood people who have something against Halloween as far as like from a Christian point of view or whatever, where it's just, to me, it's just, I don't know. It's silly. It's a holiday. It's, to me as a kid, I was always growing up like, and sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
But it's one of those things where like growing up, I never, it never really crossed my parents' mind or my mind that it was something, there was anything demonic to it or evil or anything like that. It's like as a kid, you got to dress up. You put in fake teeth and like fake blood as Dracula and blah, and then flew around the neighborhood, and it was like that. It was something stupid and funny and like fun. Like it wasn't anything bad,
So what? Okay, so that's for me as an adult. What about you as an adult now?
As an adult,
or I guess you could say college adult.
Well, yeah, going to your awesome parties. That was one of my favorites each year. But yeah, I've really gotten into, instead of dressing up now, I really enjoy decorating.
Yeah.
So I enjoy decorating the house with the kids, the outside of the house, the inside of the house. I've got a fog machine going. I've got like the whole 10 yards. He's the same way. So it's one of those where it's like it's fun to decorate and see the lights, and I try to watch a scary movie every night throughout October. It's hard. I totally failed last year. I think I only watched like a handful of movies last year.
Last year it snuck up on us. It was really quick.
Yeah. But anyway, so I've really enjoyed Halloween as an adult. Not as much the dressing up, but more of just the hanging out with friends and family, like doing a Halloween party or something like that.
Yeah.
But then decorating the house.
And that's the thing. So when I did, when I was in college, I did the Halloween parties like when we were single, when we were in college, and as people got married and older and things. I retired my party, and ironically, you started yours.
Picked it up, yeah.
So you kind of started to like kind of married.
Well, yeah, because once you said you were done kind of with yours, I was like, well, I don't want them to end, dude.
Yeah.
Those parties were fun.
And it's cool because yours is different. It's still yours is awesome, but it's different. It's more
Some
like
call it better.
I haven't heard that review. I mean, there's those on Yelp that might say that.
You know who you are.
I hate you so much. If you like those quiet parties where you talk about Nosferatu and have a gentleman discussion.
Exactly. we have a glass of sherry and discuss Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
So was Mary Shelley Frankenstein, or was Frankenstein monster Mary Shelley?
I believe it's pronounced Frankenstein.
Those parties are fun. But if you like dancing and DJ, hot women, and all that stuff, that was my party.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Just kidding. We love Halloween. Anyways, so I think those are some great memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back and we'll be talking a little more about our favorite experiences and kind of like what we love to do around Halloween time. So, all right.
Stay tuned.